Hey YouTube, what's going on? Team Phantasma coming at you with another Force of Will deck profile, and this time we're going to be using Charlotte, the Determined Girl. I wouldn't say recently, but a couple weeks ago, I did a deck profile for Charlotte as well. So I know it's not the best diversity in the world, but she works really well with this deck and just kind of gets the job done. So you have to run what works. So Charlotte is my choice of the ruler for this deck, and the deck is 4 Sacred Beasts, but it is Wanderer format. I haven't really built a lot of decks for Wanderer format. I only had one, but then they dropped the ban list and kind of ruined it. But I don't care. It's still my favorite deck. It's built. I'm never getting rid of it. It's my Kaguya 1.0 deck profile, and it's on my channel if you want to check it out. But yeah, a little self-advertisement. But yeah, let me just go straight into the stones and we'll get into the main deck. But yeah, so Charlotte is the ruler. So you play, basically for all the colors obviously, you play 2 Blasting Waves, 4 Gusting Skies, and everybody's favorite, 4 Deepwood. So those are the ones you run, so you get access to all colors. I run more blue and whites because my early drops are blue, and then my other drops are yellow. My protection and my Guivers, because I run Guiver in this deck as well. And then red, you run it for maybe hard casting. I don't say their names properly, but I think it's Zuq. I don't know, whatever. But from hand to field. But that doesn't really happen until late game, anyways. So, but yeah. Anyways, let's just go straight into it. So keep in mind this is Wanderer format. So 4 Elvish Priest. You could run the not Elvish Priest. You could run the girl from Lapis Cluster. It's like the other elf that does the exact same thing as this card. I just wanted to go back to Elvish Priest because, you know, he's like the OG. He's like the original, what started it all for Force of Will right here. Every deck almost started running this card. When New Frontiers, Grim Cluster, Alice Cluster, people always ran this card basically. So I wanted to go throw back and go with him instead. So yeah. And then we're playing a Wanderer, so you obviously, any deck plays Cheshire Cat. Cheshire Cat's just the best. It's the best 1-drop in the game. My opinion, I still believe in it. I think this card's amazing. It's just, enough said. Enough. Cheshire is Cheshire. It's amazing. If I was playing any Wanderer deck, I would always play blue so that I could use Cheshire, because I just think it's so good. Then you can play, I play 4 Tama. You could play Familiar of Holy Wind instead, but it does the exact same thing. The only difference is the banishing part. You have to pay 1 green and banish it, and it deals 300. This is just banish this card, deals 200. I think for like 100 less damage, it's just better because then I don't have to pay anything. So, but that's like the only difference between them. You basically just want to draw the card. That's just like extra critiquing and stuff like that. So if you only have Familiar Holy Winds, you're fine. It doesn't really matter. And then we have our 4 Gretels. You just want to ramp up, get as fast as possible so you can drop that Huang Long before your opponent can establish a board and try to stop it and stuff like that. You just want to overwhelm your opponent, and this just gets you there faster. There's other ramp cards in the game, but Gretel is still Gretel. Gretel's a 2-drop that just gets you a Wind Magic Stone in for free. And it's just like, okay, cool, thanks. So yeah, you just play it. It's good. It's Gretel. Next up, we're playing 4 Melfi. How do I explain this? But Melfi, you play it because it produces 1 of every color. That's the primary reason, but at the same time, its other effect is when it enters the field, you can target a resonator your opponent controls, and that resonator doesn't deal damage for the rest of this. Any damage it dealt is like, it doesn't deal any damage until the end of this turn. So when it comes to late game and stuff, you can also use this to get over stuff as well. So your opponent will block with something, and then you'll like not want to take any damage because they have cards like Charlotte's Water Transformation Magic, they got Thunders, they got you name it, they got answers, right? So this is be able to protect your guys because you need to protect your Huanglong. That's your win condition. And then when that gets destroyed, you're just kind of like, my big presence is gone, my boss monster is gone. How do I recuperate? So you want to try to protect it as much as possible. So this is like a good way to do that. But again, the main reason you play it is for the producing one of any color, because that also helps with Huanglong. And then for the 4 Sacred Beasts, this is the ratios I play: 2 Zukyu, 2 Bahu, 2 Kinglong, and 2 Shanwu. I don't know if I say those names properly. I apologize if I don't, and it irks you. I can't do much about it. It's just how I think it says. So I play 2-2-2, and then I play 3 Huanglong. This is the ratios that I like. I think it's the right ratios, personally. I've seen people like 3-3, 4-4. It's like back and forth with whatever people feels like. Yeah, I'm not going to go into much detail on why other people would run that. But yeah, the reason that I run this is just for consistency. And not hand clogging, basically. If you run too much of this stuff, you're just gonna clog your hand. You're gonna have no plays. You'll make some field presence, but it's gonna be so minimal that it doesn't even do anything. Like, you'll just play this guy, and it's just like, okay, I can bounce a 1-drop or something, or a 2-drop. And it's like, that's so minimal. By the time that you get this guy out at turn 3, your opponent's just like, that's nice. I don't really care. So, anyways, just stuff like that. It's just, they don't do anything being casted by themselves. So you just want enough to be able to get Huanglong off at least once or twice. And then obviously you play a certain card in this deck to make sure that you keep doing it over and over again. Spoiler alert. Next up, we got 3 Adam Brawley, or Adam Brawley, however you want to call it. You do this for producing more mana, as well as drawing cards, as well as field presence. So you take your small guys and make them into something more. It's Adam Brawley. It's a really good card. Incarnation, funny. And then we play the 3 Gwyber. I basically play it because I can. You play quite a bit of small cost cards, and then you're just like, okay, cool, drop a Gwyber. Because what Gwyber does is, like, it's not even for like the damage. Like, it's just there because then your opponent's like, shit, I gotta deal with this, or I'm gonna get smacked to the face. And then they do, because if they don't deal with this, I'm just gonna fly in there with 1200 and just put a lot of pressure on my opponent. This card just puts a lot of pressure, and it's just, if you can run it in this deck, which I have the mana, and it's just, I have the right requirements to run it, so there's no reason not to. And then I play 2 Glorious. The reason that I play 2 Glorious is because I need a comeback play. I need some insurance plays. I am a control player, so this type of deck is not what I wouldn't play this like at like a high level event or something. Me personally, this deck could probably do pretty well at a high level event, depending on the person playing it, obviously, as usual. But this is kind of like an insurance thing for me, because I don't want to just go all out and then lose my stuff and just be like, oh, okay, well, he had the board wipe, or he had this, or he had that. A bunch of excuses I could come up with. I want to be able to... This is also for dealing with J-Rulers, but at the same time, it's just there to get rid of problematic stuff that's putting a lot of pressure on my board. Like I said, what if my opponent's playing a Gwyber? Boom, 1200 to the face. All right, that's fine. I'll take that damage like a champ, and I'll just kill your thing right there while gaining board presence and minimizing yours. So it's just kind of like, it's a good card. It's a really good card. I personally still believe that Glorious is the best card that came out of Curse of the Frozen Casket. I doubt a lot of people would agree with me on that, but that's just my personal opinion. I just think this card is fantastic. I love this card. And I want to be able to play it as much as possible just because of how awesome it is. But yeah, personal opinions all. And then obviously the Horn of the Sacred Beasts. You play it because it can produce one for your Sacred Beasts so you can cheat them out faster. But the main reason you play it is because you can banish this card and then shuffle your graveyard back into your deck. So basically, you just recycle all your Huanglongs and all your 4 Sacred Beasts and then repeat and repeat. And then your opponent just will not be able to keep up with that. You're just going to be putting way too much pressure on them. And then if they're not playing a Horn themselves, you can eventually just deck them out that way. But again, that's just another way this deck runs. Yeah. So yeah, this is my Wanderer format Charlotte's 4 Sacred Beasts, I'm gonna call it. I wanted to build a wanted to build a Wanderer deck, and then I also wanted to build something that I was familiar with. And I've played 4 Sacred Beast deck before in the past when it was Grim Alice New Frontiers. I had really good success with the deck, and I felt like I wanted to go back and try to build it again, as well as implementing some of the new cards like Glorious, and then some of the old cards like Cheshire Cat, and try to make it all working well. What this deck to me seems like, it seems like just a bunch of really good cards meshed in to a deck, to be honest. And it works, but there's always a thought process to it, the ramp, the control, you know, all of it. It all comes together to make the deck, and it works out pretty well. I'm going to play a certain other deck tonight, not tonight, tomorrow night, if you're watching this as soon as I upload it. And I'll be doing that deck profile as well after the tournament and talk about my score and all that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a good night. Peace.